Good morning, good afternoon and good evening. My name is Jake and welcome back to the About Average Jake. And today, as you can see, I'm not in my house. I'm trying new things. I like to try new things, trying something a little bit different. So I am driving in my car, not just for the sake of this particular vlog. I'm actually going to the shop to buy some beer. But I thought, why not just, film it? Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, then this little experiment of mine was a success, and I'm rather happy with how it went out, or how it panned out, because I'm not really sure if it's going to be decent video footage, whether it's going to be decent audio footage. So this is this is a learning curve for me as much as anything, but I'm still going to proceed as normal in the hope that actually the footage that is recording and that I am capturing right now is actually half good and upload worthy. So then, about today's vlog, what am I talking about? Well, I had planned originally on doing a mixture of chatting, as you do, to the camera, and also a little bit of exercise out and about on through the woods or on a football pitch, doing some circuits. But I've postponed that. It's on the back burner. That's probably going to be next time. Today, I want to talk about my fitness goals. Now, we all know, those who have watched previous videos, what my overall goal is. But this is more about short-term goals, mid-term goals, and the ultimate long-term goal, and the milestones that I want to... oh God, we have a pheasant. Hold on. Move! Oh my God, that you have got a death wish. I swear to God, if you're there when I come back, you're getting it. Also, side note, just noticed, need a bit of fuel, 40 miles till the tank's empty, so probably going to have to call it the old petrol station, otherwise going to run out of fuel, and that's going to be embarrassing. So my milestones then. Now, I'm hoping, if all goes to plan, I'm going to be doing the British Army Assessment Centre around about August. We've just got into May, so that gives me 3 to 3.5 months of training time, okay? It could be a bit later, it might not happen in August. That's just in my head, that's what I'm aiming for, that's what I'm hoping for. But of course, it depends on whether or not there's actually availability around about that time, and there's pandemic stuff and stuff like that. I'm hoping things will revert back to normal by then, but you just don't know. I haven't got a magic crystal ball, I cannot see into the future. So I'm going to be working on the assumption that I've got essentially 3 months to get myself ready for this assessment centre. So that is going to be my first milestone, and that's going to be something that I'm going to be working towards predominantly over this next month. So hopefully by the end of May into June, everything that I need to do in order to pass the assessment centre fitness wise, I'm going to be able to do. Now, there are 3 things. I think I just spat there. I really hope the camera didn't pick that up. And the fact I've just mentioned it means I probably can't edit it out. There are 3 things that I need to do successfully. And oh, bloody hell, I'm driving and talking. Who would have thought it would be so hard? Mr. Gear there. So there are 3 things. The first one is a mid-thigh pull. Now, what is a mid-thigh pull, I hear you cry? Fear not, I shall explain. A mid-thigh pull essentially is a deadlift. Those of you that have been to a gym at any point in your life will be familiar with a deadlift. If not, just Google it, and then you'll be like, oh, that's a deadlift. I know what a deadlift is. The difference being with the mid-thigh pull is, the hint's in the name, it's from the mid-thigh. And there's no weight on the bar either. You are literally pulling a bar as hard as you can that is fixed between 2 other bars, and there's a machine that it kind of measures your pull, your strength in kilograms. And I believe, I should have done my research before making this video, but I believe I need to get 46 kilograms minimum. Now, the good news is that I can do that right now. So if we would, and that's a deadlift, not a mid-thigh pull, an actual deadlift, which I would imagine would be tougher than a mid-thigh pull because it's already elevated for you. So I'm roughly maxing out at the moment in the gym. Bearing in mind the gym has just reopened a couple of weeks ago. So I'm doing 80 kilos. Now that's not a great weight by any stretch of the imagination. I am aware of that, and in the past I have been capable of lifting more, but now I know I can do that as a max, working up to it. That's going to be my baseline. I don't see the need or the importance of going beyond that, because military training is different to like gym training. Okay, I don't need to be a muscle man. In fact, that probably will have a detrimental effect to my overall fitness should I end up joining and go into phase 1 training, which is going to be, like, from what I've seen anyway, heavily cardio focused. So to actually be built like a brick, you know what, although that will never happen, I mean, look at me, it probably will have a negative effect. So 80 kilos, maybe I might push it to 100 kilos, because that's a good number to have. But once I hit that, it'll just be a case of maintaining it. But at the moment, I'm at 80 kilos for a deadlift. So as far as the mid-thigh pull is concerned, I think that is a green tick in the box, which is fantastic. The second exercise / event is a med ball throw. Now, a medicine ball, for those who are unaware, is essentially a weighted ball in various shapes and sizes. This particular exercise that I need to pass requires you to throw a 4 kilogram ball, med ball, a distance of 2.9 meters from the sitting position, back up against the wall, legs out straight in front of you, and you throw it from your chest. Pretty straightforward. And although I haven't tested myself or practiced doing that, I'm fairly confident that I could achieve that. And yeah, I mean, I might practice that when I'm next at the gym, actually, just to see if I can do it. But I'm gonna be prepared to die on this hill right now. Yeah, I think I can do that. And that brings me to event number 3, French Ain't Great. And that is either a 2-kilometer run or a beep test. Now, it all depends on the COVID restrictions, really. It used to be a 2-kilometer run from what I've gathered, and it changed to a beep test when COVID happened last year in order to maintain social distancing when potential applicants were at assessment centres in order to, so they could say that 2 meters apart and all that good stuff. But as it stands right now, it's the beep test. So that's what I'm going to be training for, to pass the beep test and to get a level 7.6. If any of these that I'm saying, this is just off the top of my head, so if I am wrong and those numbers that I've just given you for the 3 exercises, if they are incorrect, I shall put the correct ones in the description box, but I'll probably try and put an overlay on the screen or something just to correct myself as I'm chatting, really. Now, if we get to August and COVID restrictions have been completely lifted, which currently here in the UK they are expected to be fully lifted around about mid-June, I think. That means that we could well be going back to the 2-kilometer run, which, if I'm being honest, I would prefer. You see, I've always been better at running a distance, a continual distance, and then pacing myself and picking up speed, etc, 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 rather than say a beep test, which requires you to run between 2 points, stop, pivot, run back, stop, pivot, run back. Yeah, I've never been fantastic at beep tests. So from my own personal point of view, yeah, 2-kilometer run, yes please. Next stop, fuel. £1.27 a litre. Daylight robbery. Right then, where was I? The assessment centre. Yes, we have the 3 things which I already discussed, and also the scores that I need to get. Now, they are the minimum scores, so that is going to be my short-term goal. My first milestone is basically to get there. Now, as I mentioned previously a few minutes ago, the mid-thigh pull and the med ball throw, I think I'm okay with that. It's the run/beep test where I'm going to have to invest the most of my training time over the next few weeks, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to set myself a target. I'm going to do like a baseline fitness test, if you like, and I will be vlogging that, and I'm just going to go measure out 20 metres. I've got an app on my phone for a beep test, so I'll measure out 20 metres and we'll just go and do the test, and we'll just see what we get, and I might surprise myself. I may well get the score that I need. I might not. I might fail horrendously, epically. That's what I'm kind of expecting. But that's okay, because we've got time to rectify the mess that is my vessel. So yeah, that's what my primary focus over the next 4 weeks at least is. Well, I mean more than 4 weeks, but for now it's going to be my primary focus, and that is cardio and running and that all that jazz, really. Now, my hope is that when the assessment centre rolls round for me, be it in August or September or whenever it may be, that I will be at a standard that can not only pass the assessment centre, but pass with flying colours. Now, I haven't really got myself a target in my head for what I want to achieve with the mid-thigh pull or the med ball throw, but as far as the bleep test is concerned, I think I want to be getting at least, I want to try and push myself and get at least a level 8 to 8.5, somewhere around that region. Really be like, get past comfortably, all right? I don't want to be doing the bare minimum, so that's going to be my target. Now, I did mention at the start of the video about weights and weightlifting and how I don't want to go crazy with weightlifting and build up too much muscle, because that will have a detrimental effect to my cardio fitness. And that, while that is true, there will still be an element of weight training and resistance training, basically using my own body weight to train. So things like press-ups and pull-ups and sit-ups, as well as your traditional bench pressing, arm curls, lat pull-downs, all that jazz, because I like that sort of stuff. I get enjoyment from it. Now, at the moment, I'm benching around about 60 kilos. Again, I know it's not great, it's not fantastic, but weirdly, when I train my chest, it's the one body part that never really seems to have big improvements. Okay, so maybe I'll set myself a target of being able to do, say, 50 chest to the floor push-ups in 2 minutes by the time the assessment centre comes round. I think that's more than achievable. But on the bench press side of life, if I can get up to sort of 80 to 85 kilos, which is my body weight, then I'm going to be more than happy. But that's kind of, we're sort of like encroaching on long-term goals there. As far as mid-term goals are concerned, well, that's going to be re-evaluated, I guess, at the end of this month, and we'll see where we're at with the assessment centre fitness programme that I'm currently in the process of putting together. And if we're on course and we're ticking all the boxes, then yeah, we can push ourselves a little bit further and incorporate some different exercises and stuff like that. I've even thought about taking up yoga. Well, now we've got the fitness side of things out of the way, it now might be a good time just to explain to you, dear viewer, what the rest of the assessment centre will look like. At least, bearing in mind I've not done this, so this is kind of just from doing my own research, watching other YouTubers, but serving and also going through the application process, such as myself or people that have already done the assessment centre. So fitness side aside, yeah, move the fitness to the one side. So the first thing that will happen when you arrive at the assessment centre, I believe, is a medical. You will have your eyesight checked. You'll be checked for colour blindness. You have what's called an ECG scan on your heart to make sure that there's no issues with that. I think you see a doctor that check your flexibility, move your joints about, and all that good stuff. What else? What else was part of the medical? I think that might have been it, actually. But obviously, for obvious reasons, you need to be fit to join, but then making sure that you can partake in the physical side of life as well as part of the assessment centre. So that's why you do your medical first. You then do the aptitude tests. So there's the what's called a barb test. I've done a practice one of those already online. It's not hard, but it's not easy either. It's one of those things that it requires 100% concentration, okay, in order to get there. If you're not concentrating, or if you get distracted or something like that, I can imagine you're getting a pretty poor score and not doing great. And of course, the higher your score on this barb test opens up many more doors in terms of trades that you can do. So it's in my interest to get a good score. Alongside the barb test, there's what's known as the TST, which is a technical selection test. If I'm wrong about that, then somebody that knows more than me, please correct me in the comments. And you need to do that for any technical role within the army. So that's something I'm going to have to do, because Royal Engineers, to get in the Royal Engineers within a technician's trade, you have to do the technician's test, which is a GCSE maths test. So you would think, I'm just going to pull up here because I'm nearly at home. You would think I'll be able to do that because I've been doing GCSE maths for a few months now. No pressure. So yeah, so you've medical, aptitude tests, fitness tests. COVID permitting, there will be command tasks where you work as a team and you are assessed on, or you're looked at basically to see who will take control of a situation. They're trying to sort of see, even at this early stage, who has got leadership qualities. And then after all that's done and dusted, there is a final interview where I believe if you've done well, they give you all your scores, and they will tell you there and then whether or not you've done enough to get your required scores to get your trade and cap badge and stuff like that. And they might even offer you a place there and then for your training, which is pretty cool. If you've failed anything, I believe you get what's known as deferred until you can pass it, essentially. So yeah, and that's the assessment centre in a nutshell. It's currently a one-day thing, but normally, from what I've gathered, it's an overnight stay over 2 days. And like I said before, hopefully by August time, everything's back to normal, everything's a-okay, and I can then attend the assessment centre as it was pre-COVID, and do everything as it was back then, before March last year, or 2020, depending on when you're watching this. And that's about everything I've got for today. Covered the assessment centre of what's going to be expected and what I need to get in order to pass. Like I said, short, mid, long-term goals, fitness goals is initially, short-term goal is to be working towards ticking those boxes to make sure I pass everything that's required of me at the assessment centre, focusing heavily on the run side or the beep test side. Incorporated into that, we're going to be doing a bit of resistance training, some circuit training, some weight training. I want to be benching at least 80 kilos by the time we go to the assessment centre. I want to be able to continuously bang out 50 push-ups in 2 minutes before the assessment centre. Easier said than done. Honestly, right now, pause the video and do 50 press-ups, chest to the floor, all the way back up, fully extend your arms, and don't stop, all right, for 2 minutes. See how many you get. Some of you, no problem. But for us mere mortals, you know, old farts like me, it takes a little bit of training. So if I can do that, same with the sit-ups. I want to get good at sit-ups. And sit-ups is something that you kind of just let go by the wayside. Hey, who needs to do sit-ups? Well, now I do. I need to just start doing sit-ups. So yeah, I might make a separate video on gym work, of what I'm like, my training regime, you know, to building up to it. I think for the army videos anyway, where I'm discussing the army, that's not really all that important. So when I make a video like that, it will literally just be training and just showing you what I'm doing for those that are interested in that. Next time, we're going to be doing some fitness at long last. I've got a harness for the old GoPro. I'm going to take that out and just give it a trial run just to see how it works and if it feels comfortable and if it needs any adjusting, and just see how the footage looks. If it's a little bit poo, then I'll try a selfie stick and maybe do some time-lapse videos, or we'll speed it up, you know what I mean, so it's not like the full run or circuits or stuff like that. But we'll go out to the park, we'll do some fartlek training around some football pitches, do some press-ups, some sit-ups, some mini circuits. I've got a couple of dumbbells in my garage that I can throw into the boot of the car, take out to the field and do some curls for the girls and all that good stuff. Yeah, and so next time will be the start of the fitness videos, and it's where it starts proper, I guess, this whole training stuff. Do tune in for that. Thanks as always for watching. You've been awesome. I've been About Average. Links in the description below for social media and my other YouTube channel. It's a gaming channel, the About Average Gamer. So if you're interested in that, be sure to check that out as well. Until next time, doodle pip.